Η Μιριέλ Πενικό έχει διαγράψει μια επιτυχημένη πορεία στο χώρο των επιχειρήσεων, της πολιτικής και τώρα των τεχνών. Το όνομά της συνδέθηκε με μία από τις μεταρρυθμίσεις της αγοράς εργασίας στη Γαλλία κατά την πρώτη περίοδο διακυβέρνησης του Προέδρου Εμανουέλ Μακρόν. Τότε ως υπουργός Εργασίας προσπάθησε να φέρει μεγαλύτερη ευελιξία και ισότητα στα εργασιακά, κάτι που εμπολής κατάφερε. Προσπάθησε επίσης να διασφαλίσει μεγαλύτερη βιωσιμότητα στο συνταξιοδοτικό, προσπάθεια που τελικά εγκαταλείφθηκε. Στη συνέντευξη που παραχώρησε στο Euronews με την ευκαιρία της παρουσίας της στην Ελλάδα ως καλεσμένη των εφαρμοσμένων ελληνογαλλικών διαλόγων, η Μιριέλ Πενικό εξηγεί γιατί η Γαλλία χρειάζεται σήμερα ένα νέο κοινωνικό συμβόλαιο.
The economy in France is quite robust, but nevertheless we have a very high level of debt, and now the interest of debt is too heavy to be supported. So we have to act on that. When I say we, all French people, no choice. But the question is to understand why, to be sure we take the right actions. And in the why, something positive that are turned in negative in a way, it's to have a very high level of social model. And we value that. And it's part of our democratic choice and values and cohesion. So I'm supportive of this very high level of social model. But in this social contract, the issue is that the last 30 years, it has been very heavy for a financial perspective because 46% of our social contribution, of the wages are social contribution redistributed to finance social aid, social action, especially retirement, health, and social support. And the issue, it's good in its sense to reduce inequalities, financial inequalities, but we have underinvested on what is the real equality. For me, it's equality of opportunities, meaning that we have a high level of redistribution, but we are not investing so much in education and health and infrastructure that we, as much as we should and could.
Η Μιριέλ Πενικό αποδίδει την ισχυρή άνοδο της ακροδεξιάς στη Γαλλία στο γεγονός ότι οι πολίτες έχουν χάσει την πίστη τους σε ένα καλύτερο μέλλον.
Most people think that the life of their children will be worse than theirs. They don't hope a better future. It's very difficult in a democracy if you don't believe in a better future. Democracy is about freedom. It's also about hope. Hope of a better life, at least for your children. And on that, today, for the new generation, it's tougher. Even they have more money, it's tougher to climb the social ladder than it was 30 or 40 years ago.
In Greece, the government has recently passed a law that allows for 13-hour work days under conditions. From your perspective as a former Minister of Labour, do you see that as a pragmatic measure or as a step backwards?
It's always difficult to have a relevant speech on a law in another context, in another country, because you don't know exactly, you see from the external. So that's the external. What I know in the topic of labor, say first, the good laws, the good acts in labor, as always something where it's good for the economy, it's good for the social rights. When only one is debalanced, it's not very good. The question is if it's the answer to the lack of resources, maybe it's better to train heavily young people without jobs, support mother to have a daycare so they can work, and accept that senior can continue to work. But sometimes you have no choice, you have to do it quickly. And in this case, what is usually important in all countries is that is it voluntary and is it better paid? And be careful in domains where there are a lot of work accidents, because 13 hours you are in an office, it's something. If you are in the construction, it's different. So I don't know the details, I don't know the context, but that's what the question I would ask